What's up, guys? Lemonhead-it here. We are doing a transmission fluid and filter change on a 2019 F350. This is my truck, and the owner's manual says the first fluid change is at 150,000 miles. I call BS on that one. I changed it at 42,000 and it was pretty dirty. Did not do a flush, just a drop the pan, filter, and takes about 9.5 quarts, depending. So here's what we're doing. Went to Ford, got their filter, got 10 quarts. LV Mercron. Truck is warm. And got our drain pan. What I do on the pan is I go around and I take every other bolt out. That way it's not leaking all over and you have half the bolts out. Then what we'll do is we'll put the drain pan under and start loosening the rest, which it'll start leaking all over the place. Ford does not put a drain bolt in, which sucks. So you've got 10 quarts of tranny fluid gonna be coming out of this like a waterfall, and that's gonna be a real good time. So I'll put the camera up on a tripod and see how big of a mess we can make. Woo-hoo! Make sure you don't leave your doors open. I didn't do this just now, but I've done it in the past. You go to get out and your door's open and you just totally destroy yourself. It's a good way to make a simple job hurt. Pan is not very big. Probably just gonna make a fat mess. So get a big drain pan, like the biggest one you can. Careful not to drop any of the bolts into the drain pan. Here we go. Starts the waterfall. Now, so I've removed everything on the passenger side, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put one more in at the top, very loosely. Woo. So that when I loosen up the other one, we're gonna try and spill it out the side. Oh boy, yep. Here comes the mess. What a shit show. Well, wouldn't be fun for YouTube if it wasn't a mess. And now I do remember thinking to myself, oh boy, the next time I do this, I'm for sure gonna buy a new tranny pan because a drain bolt sure would be nice. Thanks a lot, Ford. You know, this is reality, right? Like, I'm not gonna make it look all pretty for you guys. That way when you go to do it yourself, you can go, oh yeah, Lemonhead-it was right. This shit sucks. Still better than paying the dealership 500 something bucks that they want to do this when it's only like $178 in parts. And big deal. You get a little bit of oil on the ground. That's what leftover t-shirts from Cruisin' Tees are for. Okay, so now that the majority of that's drained, I'm going to take the leftover bolts out. Like I said, careful you don't drop them into the drain pan. So then you get to fish them out with a magnet, if you have one. Not because I've done it before. All right, so we're at the last one. I'm gonna undo and slowly lower it down, trying not to make more of a mess. It's a reusable gasket, so be gentle with it. You don't have to reuse it. I prefer to. And now I'll just let that sit and continue to drain. I used to be real cautious, like, oh man, just so slow. Doing this because I wanted to get it all out. Three bolts hold the filter on. And they are different sizes, so lay them down in a way that you're gonna know well, the very back one is the longest, and the two sides look to be the same. Just pull straight down, because it pisses all over your face. This is enjoyable when you film yourself, because by yourself you'd just be getting pissed. But at least by filming, you guys get to see the humor and how much crap. How much of a mess I make. I mean, come on, right? Like, put a drain plug in that stupid pan. Yep, good times. Here's the new filter. You got one attachment, 2, 3, and that O-ring. You want to make sure that O-ring's on the one you took off so that you don't go and double O-ring it. And like I said, they're 80 inch-pounds. So you get your torque wrench, put it at 80 inch-pounds, making sure it's inch-pounds and not foot-pounds. And let's install this. Just like that. The long one is gonna go at the back. Side ones are both the same size. At this point, I already have a mess on the floor, so I don't really care anymore about the drain pan. I'm just gonna let it leak all over my shop floor and get that out of my way. Probably wouldn't hurt to have safety glasses on. Well, definitely wouldn't hurt to have safety glasses on, because you're laying down and it's leaking all over. I don't. Sorry, OSHA. I work for myself at my home. Kiss my rear end. So we're gonna torque those down, 80 inch-pounds. I'm gonna wipe off the surface of the trans pan. You don't want anything on there to, just dirt or debris that maybe slipped in there while you were unscrewing the final screws. So clean that up, wipe the excess off your arms. All right, so here's what we have left in the pan, and it's pretty darn clean in there. See, there's the old O-ring. We're just gonna dump the rest of this out. I'm gonna take it over to my welding table. All right, now I just wipe off the gasket. The first time I bought a new gasket, just didn't want to reuse the old one. And I felt like it's a pretty solid gasket. And I didn't really worry too much this time about just reusing it. So just be careful you don't bend it. Remove your magnet here. Wipe it off real good. That's just catching all the crap that's in there. Clutch plates, stuff like that, debris. You want all this to be as clean as possible before you put it back in, just so that there's no, you have 17 quarts total in that tranny, and we're only removing 9.5 or so. Somebody's probably gonna say I'm wrong at that. It's fine. That's what a dipstick's for. Some people might not let it all drain very good, and they might get 9 out of it, 8.5. Other people might let the thing sit there for hours, and they end up getting more. I have pressure washed an older Ford Trans with an O-ring type pan gasket, and I blew a little bit of dirt between the gasket and the pan, and it started to leak. So what I do on these, because that's a dirty rag, is I'll go and I'll get a clean rag with my dirty hands in my clean truck. So, clean rag, I'll do one last kind of wipe down just to make sure we don't have any dirt or grime in there. Same thing with the gasket. There's a couple things on this truck that are just pretty stinking annoying. Wait till we go to fill it up. Freaking dipstick, where you fill it, is literally horizontal, not straight up and down, so that makes a big old mess too. It's really fun. Go ahead and put your magnet back. Magnet goes right there. Okay, so we're all cleaned up there. We got a big old mess down there, which I'm just gonna leave. Wear crappy clothes. Get a couple bolts started. Making sure that gasket stays lined up. So I just get two started at the top. Make sure the back bolt at the back of the pan goes through one of the holes in the gasket, so that you know that's lined up. Same thing with the other side. So now I can feel with my fingers that I've got all the bolts through the gasket. And I'm just ever so slightly bringing the pan up to the surface. And I'm gonna just get all the bolts. A couple finger turns in. Probably looking at the back of my head. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's funny. I've watched all these people's videos over the years, and I'm like, really? I think I could do a better job. And now you're doing it, and it's like, this is just everyday routine. You just want to get your tranny fluid change done and move on to the next thing you gotta do. But I guess if you want to do this YouTube stuff, you need to take the extra time so people aren't looking at your armpits. Well, I think you're gonna look at my armpits because I just want to get this done and move on to fun stuff like my Suzuki Samurai or my Blazer. Okay, got all the bolts in, finger tight. I like a couple turns with my finger now. I'm just gonna go around and just get those all just to where they're starting to touch the pan. I'm not tightening anything, just making it so I'm not sitting there with a ratchet for the next hour, snugging them all up. Okay, so now I'm going to go on a crisscross pattern with my torque wrench and just get them snug down to 80 inch-pounds. Then I'm just going to go around each one, snug it up till the torque wrench clicks all the way around once. Make sure they're all tight. And then once I've gone around the whole pan, and got them all, I'm gonna go around again and just double check. Sometimes as you tighten things down, it'll take pressure off of another bolt. So I just go around 2 times, make sure everything's right where it should be. That's an extra minute or so. Makes me have a little more confidence. Done. The other thing I always do is just really wipe down the bottom of the truck. and get any leftover residue off, because if you don't get it dried up, how are you gonna know if you have any leaks if it's just all wet and splattered with oil everywhere? And what it does is it runs all over this cross member, and so then you start driving and it blows it all over the rest of the truck. So what I'll do is I'll wipe it all down, take it out, run it down the freeway, and then come under and wipe it all down again. Maybe even wash it just to get any excess splatters off. And that way you can check to see, you know, when you look under there and see oil, oh, it's a leak, versus, oh, it's just leftover stuff and you think you have a leak. So you can see your dipstick is literally horizontal, which makes it so hard to get fluid in a normal truck situation. It would be straight up and down, or at least at like a 45. So I found this funnel, which works pretty good. If you're willing to get dirty and clean up your mess, save yourself a whole lot of money. And know that at least what you did was done with some love and care. I haven't got any oil inside my truck. I'm not gonna get in there and get my freaking steering wheel caked with transmission fluid from my hands. First time I had them do the oil change in this, I got the truck back and there was gouges from the guy's ring on the handle to get in the truck. And it actually, like, I don't know what his ring was, but it screwed up my steering wheel a little bit too. So Ford put a new steering wheel on there for me. And, you know, people just don't treat your stuff as good as you're gonna treat it. Unless you're one of those guys that doesn't care, and then, hey, whatever floats your boat, man. All right, that's 8 quarts. I'm gonna start with that. Fire the truck up. That's 9 quarts. You can see why this funnel is a must-have. Like, way better than using a regular conventional funnel. You're just gonna spill all over your truck. Check. So, took it out, got it up to operating temperature at 189 degrees, and we got 9.5 quarts back in it, and it's right in the middle of the cross hatching. So that's it. 2019 F350 transmission fluid change. Thanks guys, bye.